Hey guys, my name is Steph and I talk about bipolar disorder. And if you're new here, if you're subscribed, thank you for being patient with me. Today I'm going to talk about 9 reasons why people with bipolar disorder do not get help. I really like countdown videos, so that's what I'm doing today. So the first reason why people with bipolar disorder do not get help is fear. It is terrifying being diagnosed with bipolar disorder. When I was diagnosed, I had no idea what it was. Everything that you see on TV shows it in a really negative light. There's also people that go around saying things like, I remember one time I was at a bar and somebody in the bar was talking to their friend and they said to their other friend, oh, well, they're so bipolar. And it really was upsetting. It's kind of like, wow, somebody just told me I'm crazy. It's scary because if you have had a past experience, say with medication, and you had a horrible reaction. When I was very young, I was misdiagnosed, but I was also given medication that I just happened to be allergic to. So that made it terrifying for me to accept my diagnosis. I was in denial for a very long time. It's very common for people with bipolar disorder to be in denial. I'm pretty sure just about everyone denies it. Number 2 is knowledge. We know nothing about bipolar disorder. You'll know nothing about bipolar disorder. It's why you're here. It's very difficult to understand. Even doctors don't know everything that they should. Knowledge is always going to be a part of every single reason why people don't get help. It's tied in there somehow. Number 3, culture. There are many cultures in the world that do not believe in mental illness. They don't believe in getting treatment for it. There are people who think that you are just acting out, that you just have an attitude problem, that it's just not something that is accepted. This is why certain cultures have incredibly high suicide rates. Family and friends is a big one. You need a support system, and if you do not have that, you can't do it alone. You just can't. And your family doesn't know what to do a lot of the times. They're just as upset as you are. They are fearful for you. They're angry with you. In my family, we don't talk about feelings directly to one another. It kind of plays a telephone game. And so I was always embarrassed or afraid to talk about my feelings. And if I did, it was not a good response. Healthcare. There are countries that don't have access to healthcare. Even here in the United States, it's difficult for everyone to get the healthcare that they need. On top of that, healthcare, even the doctors don't know what they're doing all the time. I have been misdiagnosed, underprescribed, or going to see a psychiatrist. Being honest with your psychiatrist is frightening. I remember I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and once I finally accepted my illness and went on medication, I was afraid to be honest with my psychiatrist. I was afraid to tell my psychiatrist that I wanted to kill myself. I didn't want to hear myself say those words. It's shameful. It's shameful and it's embarrassing and it's humiliating, and you feel guilty. You feel guilty for not being able to hang out with your friends or not being able to call someone back because you're so sad. You can't find the words to talk to anyone. You don't know what you're going to say. I remember my dad used to call me and say, how are you doing? And I would say, oh, fine, and not really have much else to say because I was so depressed. But one time he said, well, you're not supposed to be fine. You're supposed to be good. And he didn't mean that to harm me in any way, shape, or form. But When you tell someone who's bipolar, or anyone for that matter, that they're not supposed to feel that the way that they do, it's hurtful and it's harmful. Another aspect of healthcare is that when you look at bipolar disorder and you look up the technical definition and the symptoms, and it's not classified as a fatal disease if left untreated, but it is. It is. Millions of people kill themselves every year. Many who have bipolar disorder or schizoaffective or schizophrenia. I was blacked out and run over by a car, nearly died in my psychotic episode. So it is not classified as a fatal disease if left untreated, but it is. It's the same as not taking your medication if you're diabetic. You're putting your life at risk. Number 6, religion. There are a lot of evangelical religious groups of people out there that don't believe in mental illness at all, believe you're possessed, and don't believe in taking medication, believe that that's against God or whatever. Number 7, you can control it. You just tell yourself, God, I spend so much time just telling myself, if you just don't have any stress, if you're just mindful, if you just work out, if you just watch your diet, if you just get control, you can do this. Meaning that I felt as though it was my fault and that I could control it. So me going into psychosis was my fault. Me treating the way, the being horrifying to the people around me was my fault. I had no knowledge. Those around me had no knowledge, and they were in pain. Family members are in pain. They go through it too. Loved ones, friends, they're in pain. Everyone's in pain. Another reason is it doesn't work. I know that I was on Abilify. One, I was underprescribed, but I was on 10 milligrams of Abilify for a year, and I still felt like I wanted to kill myself. I felt like it wasn't working. And then the doctors will tell you, well, you're not supposed to feel any different. That's how you know it's working. And so it's like, okay, so I'm supposed to take this medication and still feel like I want to kill myself. And how do I know that I'm not going to go into another episode? I spent years just trying to pray it away. God, please don't let this happen to me again. God, I cannot hurt my family like this again. I cannot be embarrassed like this again in front of all my friends. Just over and over again. And it doesn't work. It's there, you're born with it. It doesn't work. The last reason is symptoms. It's too late. Sometimes it's too late to get help. I remember one time I was in full-blown psychosis, and it's amazing that I remember this because you only remember certain parts when you're in full-blown psychosis. But I do remember I was in this doctor's office, and I remember I was going a mile a minute, just, talking and saying all this stuff that didn't make sense, fidgeting. And he says, you're bipolar. And I told him he was crazy and stormed out. It was too late at that point for me to get help. And at that point, I had no one. I had one friend who I no longer speak to, which is very sad because she was there for me. You lose a lot of friends, whether it's your fault or not, whether you walk away from someone or they walk away from you, you lose friends. I know I have lost a lot of people in my life because I don't want to be the vision that they have of me. I don't want to be felt sorry for. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be the one that's so different or so weird. So that's it. You have all the reasons, and I hope this video helped. Real quick, I am releasing a new music video this week. Hopefully you guys get a chance to check it out. I worked really hard on it. It's a big chunk of my soul and my life and how I felt growing up. So, yeah. Thank you guys for listening. Best of luck to you. If you are bipolar, have any other mental illness, take your meds. If you are someone trying to help someone, thank you. Have a great day. Bye, guys.